Welcome back, club members, to part 2 of our Singin' in the Rain review.
All right. Well, here we go. Dawn has dropped Kathy off at home.
Mm-hmm. What's he gonna sing?
Spellbound by her enchantment.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more.
He dances and sings through the neighborhood.
What's it gonna be?
In the rain.
Uh-huh.
To Singin' in the Rain.
Oh my god.
What are your thoughts on this?
Shocker. I'm just kidding.
Complete shocker.
You know what I was thinking about when I was watching it? I was like, I don't have much to add to this song. And not in a bad way, but like it is so well known. It's like, what more can I say about Singin' in the Rain? It is the name of the movie. It is the song. It is the number. It is the moment. So what I did is I was just looking up because, again, one of those urban legends you hear about this number is I always heard like, oh, they had to add milk to the water so that the rain could show up on the screen. Did you ever hear that? So I wanted to look that up instead, and I looked, and yeah, they didn't. It's just one of those things that's been around. One of the urban legends that people always think is that it was milk. Because I was thinking in my head, ugh, that set probably smelled like sour milk, disgusting. They did not. What they did was they backlit the water, meaning they had the water in between the light and where it was going to land. So every splash, it caught the light and made it explode into little shiny twinkling water droplets. So no milk, you guys. But
just great lighting.
I think that there are few movies and few movie musicals that have such iconic scenes that like people off the top of their head will know whether you've seen the movie or not. And it's cool that this movie, being as classic as it is, literally has two. One after another. Because I just said that this couch dance number is so well known. I feel like everybody knows this. Singing in the Rain, dancing on the light post, all of that. It's just so well known, and I think that's why it's kind of solidified itself as one of the best movie musicals. So yeah, it's iconic. That's all I really can say about it.
It's funny too, because this is the epitome for me of a song that I would not want to listen to unless I'm watching the performance of it. Like, I have no interest in putting on the record and listening to this song unless I'm seeing somebody do some amazing choreography. I love how practical everything is. I am shocked that on film we don't see Gene Kelly slipping and sliding at all. He must have had some great soles on those shoes to make sure he didn't eat it. But then again, we don't know all the cuts that had to happen if he, ate shit a couple of times. But I do agree with you, Boo. I think that this is one of those moments where it is pure movie magic that happened, and everybody knows it. And on stage, you guys, this song is also magic because it is done with practical effects, and they're able to on stage have this rain moment happen. And
it's like one of the selling points when there's going to be a production of a regional production of this musical is people go, and there's going to be rain, like
on stage.
They're going to actually have the rain.
So yes, if you all have not had the opportunity to watch this film, if you're just listening to the podcast because you think like, oh, I know Singing in the Rain, like I don't have to watch it, definitely I would at least go on YouTube and watch this scene, because it is pretty amazing to see the practical movie magic that went into this.
He also had 103 fever when he filmed this.
Oh my gosh. He probably had pneumonia afterwards. It probably was freezing in there.
It's just crazy, the things that people do.
So after this number, Dawn and Cosmo pitched their idea to RF, changing the title of the film to The Dancing Cavalier and adding a modern framing device to it. RF approves, but tells them not to inform Lena about Kathy's involvement with dubbing her voice for the picture. Don helps Kathy dub Lena's lines, which transitions us into a quick montage in and out of the recording studio where we get Kathy singing the song "Would You."
Before we go into the song,
oh yes,
can we talk a little bit about that scene with RF? I love that Cosmo really is saving the day. He is running things. He's saving the day. He named the film, right? And then not only did he name the film, but he figured out how to, because I think RF was like, well, how are we going to get modern songs and dances into this film that's about, like they look like Marie Antoinette and like it's very like Renaissance type film. How are we going to do that? And he figures out how to do the dream sequences.
Yeah.
And the guy gets knocked on the head, so it's all in his head. Like
he's coming up with all these like
the
cool
whole thing. And I just kind of love that scene that he's finally getting his what is it, comeuppance?
Yeah, recognition.
He's getting his recognition, and not starting at the beginning of the film when like people could really care less. Now, granted, this is behind the scenes, but even just the behind the scenes recognition from RF just being like, hey, remind me to pay you more, or hey, remind me to give you a raise.
Yeah. This song, Would You? It is so beautiful. I love this song. I know there's a bit of funny meta trivia with this song in regards to Debbie's not singing voice in this song. How's this one work, Boo?
Well, this is part one of the whole thing.
Okay.
Because part one is the singing, which Debbie Reynolds was. Now, for regular upbeat, songs like Good Morning, that was Debbie Reynolds. That was her singing. But when it comes to these ballads that need that more classically trained voice, they did have a singing double, which is so funny because that's exactly what this movie is about. But Debbie actually had her voice dubbed in this scene by, her name was Betty. I don't know if it's Noyes or Noyes, but it's Betty, Noyes. So Miss Betty was behind the scenes dubbing Kathy, or dubbing Debbie, who's supposed to be Kathy dubbing Lena. So it's very layered, and it's very interesting.
It would be
less, it'd be less interesting if it was just a regular movie, because we know that like this is what happened back in the day.
Sure.
Everybody was dubbed. Everybody, had,
and we didn't hate it.
No, gosh, I wish they would do it more. I say this all the time with these current movie musicals. Dub them, or how about just get someone who can do it?
Well, that would be.
But anyway,
ideal.
But if you want a movie star, just dub them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a very interesting fact, and I think that's just because Debbie does have a very pleasant voice, but maybe they just thought that her youthful voice just maybe didn't have the same impact as if someone sounded more classically and mature.
Sure.
Trained.
I could see that.
So
now, what's the second layer to this in regards to the other Debbie dubbed sequences?
Well,
because I don't know if we have a break in that. Do we have a break in that? Is that coming up?
I don't know, but we can talk about it.
I say just go for it.
So she's not only dubbing Lena Lamont's singing voice, they also need her to obviously dub all of Lena's talking in the film. But the one scene where you see Kathy in the studio and they show you the first clip where it's Lena saying the line in her nasal voice, and then they go, okay, now let's play it back and let's have Kathy dub it. And then you hear this beautiful, mature voice. It's Gene Hagen. Like, they literally just show Gene speaking in her own voice, and they're like, and cut. That was great, Kathy.
So funny.
But movie magic and just not knowing, I'm sure if you were in the theater and you were watching, you wouldn't think twice and be like, okay, that was Debbie Reynolds. She was just doing a mature
sounding voice.
romantic lead voice, like doing a part. But if you now know that it's Gene Hagen and you go back and you listen, that does not sound anything like Debbie Reynolds.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
So it's layer upon layer that like Kathy's supposed to dub Lena, but Gene Hagen dubbed Gene Hagen. Like she did her before and her after.
That's funny.
So it's just a very interesting thing that had you not known, you probably would have missed it. But now that you do know, it's so funny to watch.
I think it's one of the fun facts about this film, you know, the crossover meta layering of the dubbing going on.
And they did say, sorry, just to add one little part, director Donen once explained that Debbie Reynolds' Midwestern accent was not right for this one scene, being the dubbing scene, preferring Hagen's natural, cultured speaking voice.
Makes sense.
So, you know, not to say that Debbie had a bad voice. She obviously got the role because she has a very pretty singing voice and she has a very pretty and likable talking voice. But if you do listen to her, she does have a Midwestern type accent that kind of comes out.
I think I want to try to make a little montage clip of this little section for, you know, like our social media pages about like the different voices, you know?
Well, the way we ramble, good luck. Try to
I'll find a way to Frankenstein it together.
Oh, Lord.
We do cut fairly quickly from watching her doing the dubbing recordings in the studio to an actual staged montage of another new song and sequence that is going to be in the Dancing Cavalier. And that big sequence is called Broadway Melody. Now, this was the moment that Jeffrey and I were talking about that, well, Jeffrey had mentioned that it is very big budget here. This is quite the quote-unquote MGM extravaganza.
Yeah, for this being a mid-budget film, this is a prestige number. This is up there, and you just watch it and you go, okay, this took them a lot of time and a lot of money.
Right.
Money, honey.
This reminds me heavily of American in Paris, this sequence. I do know it's a dream sequence, but I do feel the way that it's shot, it for me, is that like our favorite thing to say? For me, I feel this is the most disconjointed moment of the film. I just don't think it blends quite well. It doesn't throw me off so much that I dislike the number, but this is a moment for me where I do get a little bit lost in everything that's going on. It feels a little filler to me.
It doesn't connect with the film at all.
If it wasn't for Cyd, I'm not quite interested in this number. So if you want to speak on at least Cyd's involvement, that would be great. Because the song itself, I don't have much to say about it.
Well, I know when we were watching, you said, how would you feel if you were Cyd Charisse and you were called in to, you know, do this big budget number? And I mean, the Libra in me kind of weighed out like, well, it's probably a little boost to your ego knowing like, hey, we need the best dancer in the business. Can you come in and shake your maracas and show us those legs and, you know, give us what we need? And so I'm sure that's a big boost to know that you are the best, because she is. You watch her up there and you're spellbound. She is beautiful, and her legs, that's all you need is her legs.
I know. You can't not just be mesmerized by her.
But then the other part of me goes, well, shit, I'd be like, oh, well, you only need me for the dance? Why didn't you give me a freaking role?
Like, why couldn't they have cast her as Zelda? No hate against Rita, because we love Rita, but why couldn't it have been Zelda? It could have been one and the same character. Yeah. Why couldn't she have even had a cameo as the Spider Swanson lady? Why couldn't she have had some lines? Like, what?
I just think it doesn't make sense at all in general, considering that we're filming a Lamont and Lockwood movie. I, in my head, go, why would you film a movie? And we're talking about the film within a film.
Yes, you have this film within a film.
Film within a film. I just feel like it doesn't make sense for this Don Lockwood character, whatever character he's playing in The Dancing Cavalier, it doesn't make sense to me that he would have two lead love interests in a film. like he has, like you would think that his dreams, the girl, quote unquote, the girl in his dream would be the girl also in the like Renaissance part as well. Why would he have two love interests?
Yeah.
So granted, you can't, I can see their issue being monumental pictures and going, we have Lena Lamont who can't dance, but we want to make this modern dance number, so they have to get somebody else to come in and film this dance number.
Mm-hmm.
But you would think that the same actress would do both, because modern or classic or whatever, you would think that you would want to pair your lead actor with the same lead actress.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Yeah.
So I just was like, this is very cool to watch, but it's almost cool to watch as like a 20-minute dance number.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with Singing in the Rain. Like,
I agree.
I don't even remember that this part is part of the movie. Meaning, I know that there's a dance number, but when Cyd Charisse comes out in the green dress, I've posted this scene.
Sure.
That's the thing, is that I have posted this on my account because it's such a cool scene. But I literally looked and went, oh, this scene is from this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, when I posted it, I did say it was in Singing in the Rain, but my brain just never clicks them together. That when I do that, I've posted it and I posted it was from Singing in the Rain, and here we are a year or two later, and I always forget that it's part of this movie.
This number.
Because it just comes out of nowhere. Yeah. It's cool to watch. It's almost like, did they have 20 minutes of a unfinished film that they decided to add into this?
I know.
Like, nothing about it makes sense.
It would be interesting to see if there are any interviews with Cyd about this. We're gonna have to look into that and deep dive that a bit.
I would never want to not give Gene Hagen this role, but in my mind, I would have wondered, could they have cast Cyd Charisse as Lena Lamont? Yeah. Or would that not make sense because Lena's supposed to be talentless?
True.
So I guess it just never there's no way around it, but it just, to me, it just makes it clunky.
Yeah. A couple moments to point out during this dance number. Please go watch this dance number, by the way, and prepare to be mesmerized. We have
no ill will towards the dance number. It's freaking phenomenal.
Close up on Cyd with the very kind of quote unquote masculine blowing the cigarette smoke out of her nose. Love it.
Yeah. I think that got you aroused.
Her wiping. And what got me aroused was her taking his fogged glasses off of his face and wiping the lenses on her thigh. Amazing. The backwards dip she does all the way lower to the ground that he like lowers her into. Amazing. Like, this is I'm so impressed by her. That last scene too that the director chose to shoot of her being so into this young lover boy, and then the minute her old gangster lover like dangles the diamond bracelet in front of her, and she just like is like, what, young lover?
Bye.
Boy? See ya. It is just breathtaking. This whole scene is freaking phenomenal in regards to Cyd's dancing. Well, I mean, Gene Kelly's dancing is great too, but no, she is a great addition. She is the star of this sequence. Let's put it that way. Mm-hmm. She is the star of this sequence. So moving on, Lena is tipped off by the other actress, which is Zelda, of Kathy's involvement in this whole dubbing scandal that they're running. Okay,
Zelda, played by Rita.
I am Rita and not Cheetah.
I know.
And you are and I am Cheetah and you are Rita. That doesn't even know Forbidden Broadway. Shout out to Forbidden Broadway for that funny song. When Lena realizes that Dawn and Kathy are in love, she then learns that RF is intending to give Kathy a screen credit for her dubbing. She freaks out. She
doesn't even find that out. They freaking give her the whole plot.
Like, why are they giving it to her on a silver platter?
Like, yeah, you just got caught, but then they're like, yeah, and then this, and then yeah, and then this. And I'm like, so you just gave her the whole plan and
Like,
let
not
her
good.
go and do her thing with it. I was like, great job, guys.
Yeah, she gives an interview to, you know, a whole Hollywood like tabloid about it, saying that she will release all of this information and saying that she has a clause in her contract.
Well, she doesn't say that in the newspaper. All of the newspaper articles are just saying the new singing and dancing sensation, Lena Lamont.
That's right.
But behind the scenes to RF, she's like, I'm in charge.
Yes.
I'm in charge of my
Thank you.
I'm in charge of my own publicity, and this is what I choose to say, that I am the next singing and dancing sensation.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go against that, then I'm gonna sue your ass and take your studio.
So basically, RF is now backed into a corner, and he's forced to leave Kathy uncredited and agree to Lena's demand that Kathy's going to have to continue to anonymously dub her for these future films. We jump to the premiere of The Dancing Cavalier. It's obviously a big success. But when the audience, you know, clamors for Lena to come out and sing live on stage, while Lena is out there, Dawn and Cosmo and RF tell her to go to the microphone and like basically do a live lip sync to Kathy that is going to be behind the curtain, mimicking the same vocals that she's doing out there on stage. So RF is like, go out there and sing Singin' in the Rain, because she knows this song. Like, how does she know this song? How does anyone know this song?
Well, no, Kathy gives it to her.
Oh yeah, Kathy. Yeah. Kathy gives it to her. And I'm like, how does anyone know this song? This doesn't make any sense. Like, they're not in the audience watching Singin' in the Rain, but whatever. Let's have our imaginations go off here. Mm-hmm. She says, go out there and sing Singin' in the Rain. Lena goes out there. She starts singing the song into the mic, but Kathy's dubbing her vocals behind the curtain. And the men end up raising the curtain to reveal the ruse that it's actually Kathy doing all of this. Lena and Kathy both flee due to the embarrassment, but Dawn tells the audience to stop Kathy, and he proudly announces to everyone that she is the real star of the picture, everyone. Once again, very cavalier moment for Dawn here in this situation.
Mm-hmm. He's not worried about his own success. He's really trying to push this woman who is a true talent. Mm-hmm. And he's like, she needs to get her time in the sun, and mm-hmm. she needs to be famous.
Yeah, time for her to be famous, you know? The song we jump into here, this is like, you know, this is the ending of the film, everyone. The end of the film. The song we jump into here is called You Are My Lucky Star.
You must be my lucky star.
Not that one. I think that this song is really pretty. I mean, it's really short though. It feels like...
Is there a longer one on the soundtrack, considering they recorded one line?
I don't know. It is quite short though. It kind of almost sounds like a Disney film song. Like when Peter Pan ends or like Alice in Wonderland ends, we get this kind of like ending score sequence. This reminds me a lot of that.
What, with like a big choir of like
yeah, la, 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 la. Yes, exactly that. It reminds me of that as we're like going off into the cut of Kathy and Dawn sharing a kiss under their billboard of their new film together.
Where is this billboard?
Singin' in the Rain. I don't know. Sound of Music we're at all of a sudden. Like, it is... I know. Where is this billboard?
No, because I've seen it before, but I didn't know if it was all MGM or what, but I've seen people, like pictures of people posed underneath this real billboard.
Get out of here.
Yeah, like I swear, I think there's one, unless it's a completely different one, and this is just what billboards looked like back then. But when I saw that, it immediately came to my mind. Well, number one, don't they show in Singin' in the Rain, they show her husband's billboard, and then they're slowly putting up Vicky Lester.
Oh, yes.
Isn't it on a billboard that
Like,
looks almost exactly like
one?
that?
Maybe it is.
And I think there's actual real like home video recording of Linda Darnell when she was going to be in Forever Amber,
and she's posed
and they
under
show
it.
her under a billboard, and it looks almost exactly like that.
Maybe it's their studio billboard.
Yeah, but
maybe they use it for these sequences.
Maybe. I mean, it didn't look like it was fake for a movie, so I was just wondering, is it all the same billboard, or did each movie studio have their own, like, while you're driving into the studio lot, they had like an area where they had a billboard for their next big movie. But anyway, I was just like, where is it, and is it still around, or did they blow it up and put a McDonald's? Like,
oh my gosh.
I don't know, but it's a cool billboard area with like the flowers around it and stuff.
Do you have anything to say on You Must Be My Lucky Star?
No, but I will say they did a good job making the movie poster look like a real movie poster.
You had mentioned that.
Yeah, I was like, their profiles and the way that they're drawn, and it
very 20s. It
looks very 20s. Like, they did a good job not just making it look like a ritzy 50s big CinemaScope movie poster, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it does. They nailed the vintage presence of it.
Yeah, the feel
really
of like a 20s movie.
The only one tiny thing I would change about it,
the poster?
Tiny little thing I would change about the poster. I do wish that it was just a Kathy picture that was on the billboard. Not a Dawn and Kathy movie. I would have loved it if it was he got her famous and she on her own now is famous. But that's just the radical feminist in me. You know what I mean?
They went from Lamont and Lockhart and Lamont to Lockhart and Selden. Like, it's the next pairing.
Yeah, yes.
And the studio is getting their actual real love story instead of this fake Lena and Dawn. They actually do have a love story, and they can actually be in movies and actually love each other.
Yeah.
So I think it was
that for a reason.
To me, I mean, if you wanted him to be like, I'm retiring and Kathy is now the big...
I just like how cavalier he's been this whole way, and so I thought it would have been a nice touch. But we can agree to disagree. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
So that's the end of the film.
That's the end.
Well...
Do you think the film within a film was just this film?
Ooh, that's crazy layered.
Because it's called Singin' in the Rain.
Yeah, that's crazy layered. Yeah, sure. It's all full circle, right?
It's just this film.
It's all full circle.
We're watching what they filmed.
It was refreshing to see this, though, and to not be like, here we go with like another drunk husband or another gambling husband. Like, it was refreshing to see this film, I will say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that, but I mean, besides maybe my little comment about Dawn having a little ego in the beginning and expecting Kathy to know who he was, I didn't really have any issues with the male character being very like, there wasn't very much mention of like, the woman needs to be the child bearer and, the wife, but sometimes you get these movies where like,
and why does she need to succeed? She could just marry and not have a career. That
kind
of
of
stuff.
There was none of that.
Yeah, I agree.
It was, I guess, feminist light.
Yeah, it was feminist light. Diet feminist for the 50s.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely refreshing. So what was your overall favorite thing about this film, babe?
Gene Hagen.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Was
then, still is now. Every one of her scenes makes me laugh out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Well-deserved Academy Award nomination. She's so funny. She stole the show in a musical, like you said. She did not sing or dance, and she stole the freaking show.
Well, I will, on top of that, add to my favorite thing about it is the written scenes in this movie.
Okay.
I removing the music from it, I would be okay with it being.
You can't always say that.
No, I don't always say that.
This is a musical.
I don't always say that.
This is a musical podcast.
Sometimes I want more music. Sometimes I want more music.
Okay, you're right.
So I don't always
keep going.
But yes,
you can't want one or the other.
I think that yeah, if we added more scenes, I wouldn't be bummed out about that. I would love if there were more written scenes between them. So especially the three pals, you know, I think that it would be really, really cool. But yeah, my favorite thing layered on top of that, Jean Hagen did an amazing job with all of her acting, and I really think a lot of it has to do with how well these scenes were written.
Yeah. What's your least favorite?
Well, I will say I do think that my same favorite is also my least favorite, because I do feel I would rather have some more meat to it and add a little bit more drama to it. There's not a lot of dramatic elements. So I do think that if we added a little bit more instead of these 15-minute dance sequences, if they were filled in with heavier scenes, I think it could have added a different tone to it. I don't think that it's not successful in the way that it is done, but I'm simply saying, like, switch out some of that with some heavier dramatic scenes. It would be cooler, about show business, about career paths, about the friends. I'm not saying that the friends had to have like a squabble or anything like that, but you know, maybe there is a scene where Cosmo is like, I'm sick of not getting recognition for coming up with all these ideas, like things like that. So yeah, that's probably my least favorite. Not a lot though. What is your least favorite thing about the film?
My least favorite is just probably having Broadway melody be in the movie. It's a perfect number. It's a perfect dance to watch for what it is. It really has no business in this movie. Like, there was no them talking about needing like a current dance number, and like this being a dilemma was only so that they could put a current dance number in this 20s movie.
Sure.
Or in this movie about the Renaissance that they're filming in the 20s. That's what I meant. No, not necessary to be in the film at all.
It really felt like filler to you.
It felt like, yeah, exactly. To help with your point, they could have just taken this 20-minute scene out and then just added more scenes to kind of beef up the acting, which was also already good, but it could have been great. But I would not want this to never have happened, because it is such a great chunk of cinema. I do love watching it. It's in the wrong film. It's in the wrong film.
I agree with you on that entirely.
So, how do you feel about the legacy of Singing in the Rain? Or how do you think it impacted yourself or culture in general?
Well, I will say that this movie musical is probably one that a lot of parents show to their children. I think that it's something that's so well liked with families, and
it's very family friendly.
Yeah, I think and for men too. You know, I don't see men gravitating towards Sound of Music. I'm going to be a little biased or sexist here, but I don't see men or dads gravitating towards the Sound of Music. But I do
My
see
dad
them...
showed me the Sound of Music.
Okay, well, some men are more in touch with that than others. Well, I guess it is about war and Nazis, so you know. That's true.
Well, he didn't like it because of the Nazis. Let's not have that one come out.
I'm saying because it's got that layer.
Oh my god!
It's got that layer of history. It's got a layer of history going on.
Oh my god!
Woo, okay. But yeah, I do feel like this is just so. I guess it, in a way that it impacted culture, I do think it's very just inviting to everyone to enjoy a film like this, and yeah, I don't really know how else Singing in the Rain impact. I'm sure it inspired many musical movie directors in the future. How about you? How do you think it left an imprint on yourself or culture?
It's just a feel good movie that, I mean, you could put on at any moment and it's just fun to watch. I mean, I don't know how to say it without sounding rude. It's never been my number one go-to film, but when I watch it, I really, really like it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever gonna be number one on my list of favorite. I'm so glad that it has, it is considered the way it is considered. It's just not mine.
Yeah.
But I can't take away from the fact that it's not a great film.
For sure. For sure.
It probably helped with making these big budget movie musicals so popular in the 50s and 60s. It helped that momentum of these big movies.
Absolutely.
But then, there was obviously the crash and like not like a crash in the market or anything. I just mean like there was a crash in popularity in like the 70s when like, these type of feel good, schmaltzy, sugary musicals kind of became out of style, and we got more into the cabaret and
the
movies,
Tommies,
things like that. But I think it was another notch to add to the list of these big budget MGM movies that people loved at the time. And I think it's still loved today, and you can see inspirations in so many different pieces of art that come from this. I mean, even up to like La La Land. Like, doesn't La La Land have like...
Absolutely. I agree. Yeah.
It just, and that was such a... that was a big hit.
But yes, the influence on other artists and directors in the future, how it impacted them.
So yeah,
like similar to, as we had said before, like Fosse and Marshall. There's an influence that these directors are impacted by. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of Singing in the Rain. We are going to now move on to spinning this wheel. Spinning the wheel. All right, we're ready? Here we go.
Okay. This is so funny, you guys, because this is not premeditated. This is just the next one that has been chosen, and I think it's so funny because we were literally just singing this person's praises, and now we're going to be able to see her in all of her glory. The next movie on our list is going to be 1953's The Bandwagon, starring Fred Astaire and
Cher.
Oh my god. Starring Fred Astaire and Cyd Charisse.
That is awesome. And also, I have never seen this before.
I've seen clips of it, but I honestly can't say I've seen the entire thing. But can I just show you the
oh my gosh, that is
poster?
Awesome.
You guys, the poster is literally just Cyd Charisse, Fred Astaire facing facing us, Cyd Charisse facing him with her head cocked to the side, and her leg is just completely up in the air, showing you those gams. And I mean,
that's so
would
cool.
You want Cyd Charisse any other way?
No, that's awesome.
It sounds naughtier than how I'm explaining it, but like just the extension that this woman is
so
giving.
Cool. Well, awesome, and I'm glad it's something that that's not overdone in our musical gambit.
So yeah, we're gonna be able to see Miss Cyd Charisse in all of her glory after we just saw this taste of her talent in Singing in the Rain. So it's kind of a nice little, now we can really...
It was like a teaser.
Yeah, now we can really see more of what she's got. It is directed by your fave, the one that you talked about in this one, Vincent Minnelli.
The one and only.
And it is also written by Betty Comden and Adolph Green.
Oh, nice. So, okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that correlation.
Another big budget MGM classic.
And what year was this, babe?
1953.
Okay.
So it's literally the year after.
Yeah, right in this wheelhouse.
So here's the wheel moving. We've got...
Very cool.
We had what was it? 51 was American in Paris.
I think so, yes.
52 was Singin' in the Rain, and now 53 we've got the Bandwagon.
Nice.
So it's just the wheel is moving in the right direction for these big budget, MGM blockbusters.
I'm excited. Well, everyone, go out there and please follow us on social media. You can find us at
Hollywood Hubbies on TikTok and Instagram, and at Fave Musical Clips on Instagram if you want to see some fun little clips and some fun little songs.
All right, y'all. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.